Happy Valentine's Day to all the beautiful people of YouTube. How are you today? Today we are going to make this lovely, soft, cushy heart to gift to our Valentines. And I'm going to use Pony's knitting needle kit. This is very beautiful wooden kit and some tapestry needles and some of this filler to make this soft, cushy heart. So without further ado, let's get into it right away. So I'm going to use this pink yarn. I've already made one part of the heart. I have not trimmed the excess yarns. Let this be like this. This is the wrong side, this is the right side. You can see the wonderful stock knit stitch here. And I'm going to use this beautiful pony kit. This comes in this fabric pouch, and there are beautiful bamboo needles, very easy to use, and I am going to use these 4.5 mm ones. These come with the extenders, but since the pattern is very small, I don't need them. If you do at all, please use them by all means. So let's now get started with the pattern. It's fairly simple, fairly quick. Once you get the hang of it, you can do it while watching a television or anything. Let's start with doing a slip knot. I have taught doing the slip knot like 1000 different times, so you can refer to any of the videos. And now you can use the long chain cast on here, but since we need to cast on only 3 stitches, I'm simply doing the regular cast on method, and I'll cast on 3. The first row that I'm going to knit is knitting all the 3 stitches, all the 3 cast on stitches. So here we go. 1, 2 and 3. What we are making here is the humps of the heart. So I'll show you which part. We are going to make this part right over here. So we have knitted the 3 stitches. That's my first row. In the second row, I'm going to do an increase. So I'm going to knit front back here, knit front back here, and pull the stitch in between. So how to do that? This is something new we are learning for the first time. So do the first knit as we usually do, but don't slip the stitch off the needle. Take the other needle to the back side, and we are going to knit at the back. So we knitted front and we knitted from the back in the same stitch, and therefore we are able to achieve an increase. This yarn has multiple plies. So knit front and back. We had 1 stitch over here, we have 2 over here, and then we'll slip it off. Then we'll purl 1. And for the last stitch, we'll knit front and back once again. So we started with 3 stitches. At the end of this row, we will have 5. In the next row, we are simply going to knit all 5 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we have 5 stitches over here. In the next row, we are going to increase again. So for the first stitch, we are going to knit front and back. So that will be an increase. Knitted front, turned it around, went to back in the same stitch. I've put 1 more knitting, front and back, and then I've slipped off the stitch. Then we are going to purl the 3 stitches. 1, 2, and 3. Once again, in the last stitch, we are going to knit front and back. So this is front and this is. Now we have 7 stitches on the needle. Now this is our first hump of the heart. What I'm going to do is I'm going to keep this hump as it is, going to leave a tail fairly long and snip it off. This stays on this needle like this. I'm taking the other needle and I am doing a slip knot again. And I'm casting on 3 and I'm doing this exact same pattern once again. So let me show you a few rounds. 3. Then I'm going to use the same needle and I'm going to do the knit round. Repeating the exact same thing while this first hump is already on my needle. So I'll do that off camera and come back. Exact same pattern. We will knit the first 3 stitches, first 3 cast on stitches. I am having some trouble taking all the plies of this yarn. Alright, we have knitted the first row. Now we are going to repeat the same thing. We are going to increase till we have 7 rows. So I'll do that and come back and show you how it looks. All the time this particular loop is on my needle always. So now I have the 2 humps of this heart. If you can imagine, this is this part of the heart right here. These 2 are currently separate. Now in the next round we are going to merge them together or knit them together so we can join them. Now before we do that, we just have to check that whether all our right sides of both these are aligned. So for example, here if you can see, this is the right side and this is the wrong side of the heart. If I reverse this, this is the right side. You can see the V stitches here. I show you, this is such type of V, while this is simple horizontal stitches. If I revert this, these are horizontal stitches and here there are the V stitches. So in my work, they have just reversed. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to slide these stitches off on this needle and then put them back the right sides together. So you can see how I'm doing that. Simply sliding them off. I'm just going to reverse, and this is kind of a little difficult. I can slide these off from the other side as well. If you have an extender attached, you can remove it for this bit. I have both the right sides together. Make sure everything is tight. Make sure you're able to separate it easily, and make sure that you have 14 stitches. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14. Now in the next row, I am going to build the body of this. For next 3 rows, we are not going to do a single increase or decrease, but we are simply going to knit and purl these rows. So we'll start by knitting 1. Then we are going to purl the next 12 stitches. And this is the last and 12th stitch, and we are going to knit the last stitch. So those are our 14 stitches. Once we do this round, our two humps will be joined. They are no longer separate. We have all 14 stitches together. In the next round, we are going to knit all the 14 stitches. Now in the next round, what we are going to do is we are going to repeat the second last round that we did. We are going to knit the first stitch, purl next 12 and knit the last stitch. So let me do that off camera and come back and show you. So we still have 14 stitches here. The two humps are joined and now we are going to start our decrease. So to do the decrease, let's knit one, then we are going to do a slip knit. For this I'm going to slip this first stitch, slip the next stitch, and then I'm going to take those two back on this first needle, and without pulling this needle in the right hand, I'm just going to wrap the yarn around and take it out from here. So I've knitted the two together and this stitch is called as slip knit. I'm going to knit the stitches until I have 3 stitches at the end. So I'm going to knit all these in between stitches. So I've knitted 8 stitches in total, and when I have 3 stitches on my needle, I'm going to knit 2 together on these 2 stitches. So for that I'm going to place the needle like so from both the stitches and get the yarn out from here. It's very tight, and then I'm going to knit the last one. So we started with 14 stitches in this round and we are left with 12 stitches. So we have decreased 2 stitches. In the next row, we are going to knit the first, purl all the middle stitches and knit the last. And then we are going to alternate between the decrease round and this round until we reach about 2 stitches at the end. So I'll show you the knit purl round and then I'll do this off the camera and show you when I'm left with maybe 4 stitches. So this is knit and I'm going to purl the rest of the 10 stitches and knit the last one. So let me do it, come back and show you. We have done a few decrease rows and now we have left here with 6 stitches. Now once again we are going to do the decrease row where I am going to knit one, then do a slip knit once again, slip this one, slip this one, get those into this needle once again, and without pulling this needle out I'm just going to wind it. Like so, and I'm slipping off both, and then for the last 3, for the next 2 I'm going to do knit 2 together. Like so. And then for the last one I'm going to do knit 1. So once again in this row we have decreased 2 stitches. We were at 6, now we are at 4. The next row is the opposite side, so we are going to knit the first one, purl the next 2, and knit the last one. Once again, we are going to decrease these 4 stitches to 2. For that, we are now directly going to do slip slip knit over here. So I'm slipping this one, slipping the next one, and then putting this needle and then for the last 2 I'm going to knit 2 together. Like this. Now I'll do one knit row where I'll knit both the stitches and then bind off. Knit and knit, and then simply going to take this stitch, pull this over this stitch, and then snip off some of the yarn from the tail, pass it through this loop and pull it tightly. That is our second heart. Now that we have these 2 hearts, we are going to get a tapestry needle. Let me get that quickly. So I have these tapestry needles by Pony. I am going to use one, and I'm going to use the same yarn to stitch this across. I'm going to leave a tiny gap here to fill it with. So let's do that. You can use a needle threader, but this needle has fairly big eye that the yarn will easily pass through. What we have to check is all the V type stitches, that is the right side, we are keeping them together. So both are out. If you want this pattern outside, you can do that, but I want the V stitches outside. So I'm keeping this like this, and then I'm going to simply start. I'm going to take it from inside and leave a little tail inside, like around this much yarn, and then simply stitch it. So I'll do this entire thing and show you how it looks. So I have stitched almost all of it, and I have a gap here. And while I was doing it, I hid all such loose ends inside. I simply pushed them inside and then stitched together. So I've just kept these 2 ends to show you. And this is a wonderful, wonderful project. So if you have any scrap yarn, you can, stuff this heart with it, and you will have a 3D very beautiful heart. But since I did not have any scrap yarn, I have this filler. This is standard cushion filler. So I'm going to put some of these inside. I'm making sure that both these humps of the heart are filled, and tiny little space. And once you have done, we will stitch the rest off. Now once you have stitched it completely, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this from the bottom and take it out from the top, something like this, and then I'm going to snip this off so the tail stays hidden. I'm going to snip it off very close and then slide that inside, so our tail stays hidden and the entire heart is secured. Here is your 3D soft heart. I hope you make this. I hope you gift this to your Valentine. So this is a very quick project which you can do one afternoon sitting at your couch, and you can enjoy doing it with your loved one. Please try this. Please use different colors. Don't forget to show me your creations. I would love to see them. I would love to see who you give this to. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Press the bell icon to get notified every time we post a new video. And with that, I will say goodbye to you. Thank you so much for being here, and happy Valentine's Day. Bye bye.